Today, I just want to talk about some things that make me feel a certain type of way. You know, things that I'm really passionate about. And yeah, like there is a lot to really address. I mean, I'm a guy that's very, in love with life. So, one of the things that I wanted to put as a disclaimer is that I'm going to be talking about things that aren't so conventional. What are like unconventional type shit that I like? So, to be honest, I like being around people. Number one, I like being around people, um, mostly, when it comes to like fours and fives of people. And I also like to be around like people. I don't know, like if it's sixes, anything more than six is like a party at that stage. And then I'll definitely try like focus the conversation on a group of two people, maybe. So then it'll be like the three of us having a three-way conversation. That's what I tend to do when in those kind of contexts. I do enjoy one-on-ones a lot more recently. Um, I actually had one of the girls that I used to be with come and visit me, and it made me realize that I actually do enjoy people coming to visit me. Like no strings attached, no nothing attached. I just enjoy genuine fucking people that just give a shit about me and that'll be there. So yeah, I learned that I could appreciate, people's company. I do enjoy one-on-ones when because one-on-ones give you the opportunity to like genuinely just talk, about anything. It's like there's no outside forces or even the third person. I think the third person can work in sometimes, but also it's like sort of like you start assuming that you guys are on the same page. So yeah, it starts getting tricky. So I think for the deepest convos, it's usually like a one-on-one that I'd have. Yeah. So I think the deepest convos I had was with a boy of mine, that I used to go to varsity with. So he used to stay in the same res that I used to stay in. And I used to just be able to drop by his room and like just talk, just talk for hours. Uh, and that actually taught me the value of friendship. At that point, I had only been exclusively, with the people that I grew up with, family, friends, and that I didn't really give any merit to making new relationships, which happened in that case. Uh, and since then, it's been happening more and more so with women because I had to learn how to like just slow down the roll. You know what I'm saying? And as much as the objective, is to like bust a nut, but there also has to be something beyond busting the nut. And I really feel like the objective being busting a nut is really cool to have if that's how you feel. At the same time, you have to, well, I started looking more ahead of like, okay, once I've busted this nut, what is gonna happen? Like, where is this situation gonna go? Is it just short term infatuation, or is it something that me and this person can really enjoy having a conversation? And once I get to that point, it might actually be more worthwhile to hold that space of I'm really trying to fuck, but you know, use it to stimulate our conversations and that. So I have a lot of like sexual tension with some of my girlfriends, um, that I'm not dating. I'm just saying girlfriends as opposed to like friends that are girls. So those kind of interactions are cool because they're sustainable. I feel like they really know me and I can they can be there for me. Because when I start to fuck, man, like it's crazy. Things just get mm, like yeah, things always just get a bit like weird, especially like if you're not getting married to the person, which is like what we've been conditioned as like Christians from where I'm coming from to have that view. And as much as like it's cool, to look at that whole marriage train and consider it for commitment, it's also nice to explore other options, to consider the payoffs that different kind of scenarios could have. Why do I say this? I realize that not everybody is so binary in terms of like I being a slut or getting married. There's a lot of in betweens that so there's an individual component that we have to define for ourselves is like what kind of relationship, what kind of interactions do I want with this person, and not just take the preset of like, hey, if you like it, just put a ring on it, or the legs open 24/7 kind of thing, smash and then pass. There's like a lot of things that you could do to build your ideal partner, which for me myself, I'm getting into the habit for like just really doing a lot of more daydreaming about, what is it that I want in a partner. But I'm also getting a lot of experience from the relationships that I'm in, that I've been through. I definitely feel like I need more experience. I don't know everything about the game, and yeah, I'm trying to get experience from as many people like as I can, but at the same time I know that I can't be like up in everybody's guts. So yeah, it's one of those things where I know like you have to leverage your time. So yeah, lately I've just been on like dating apps, chatting up on dating apps, getting that getting to know people through those platforms, and you don't necessarily have to take everybody out on a date, and also everybody you take out on a date you don't necessarily have to smash. And from there it's like every girl who's got some inside, I don't necessarily have to spend most of my time with. There's a lot of levels to spending time, or just the whole exploring romanticism, which I think is like sort of not the right word for it. I Because romanticism would be sort of like on a fact that you don't really need it. They say you should focus on self love. Like you don't really need romance, right? Focus on getting guap, and I do want as much guap as as like I could sustain romanticism, which actually pushes me to make a lot more guap because it's like, you know, there's expectations, especially with my role as a person who always wants to be generous. I'm a guy that always wants to be kind. So that means that I at least have to have the option. Not all girls need me in that way. Like some girls have their own, I mean, most girls have their own guap. Let's be real about this. And I think between them, it's like 50% are willing to spend on themselves. Let me say there's 30, there's three types. There's ones that have their own guap and they want still me to spend money on them, irrespective of my situation. And then there's the ones that are like, okay, 50-50, kind of like, hey, we'll compromise, um, or we'll share it down the middle. And then there's ones, so let's say the last type is divided into two subcategories of ones that will then take care and pamper, me. So there's those, and then there's the ones that sort of relate to the first one of like wanting me to take care of them, even though they've got their own. There's the ones that will like, okay, one time they'll put it on them, one time they'll put it on you, which sort of like goes into like the middle one of like sharing it. But it's not so black and white. I know I'm trying to like break it down into like three different things, but there's a lot more variation to it. I mean, it's human behavior. It's just that for for the sake of this conversation, I'm putting them into like different buckets so we can focus on the ideal person that we want with the buckets that we have. We we can focus on the ideal person that we want. So, in order to actually maximize the experience of like, I can't say which type of plan would be better. It's important to put myself at a point where I can be open to exploring all four of those potential scenarios. So that's gonna make sure that's gonna need me to have enough guap to be in those unknown situations that the the, um, the first type of girl that I mentioned, the one that has her own, and she wants me to spend on her. And in fact, it actually works for all of those situations except for a girl who's gonna like just exclusively take care of me, which, mm, like, then that goes to what it is that you do. I mean, people have different circumstances and scenarios, so I do appreciate a girl that's there for me when I need her. The fact that she could. So even that girl, I need her in my life. The one that's willing to take care of me. I just might not need her to do it all the time. I think we can just take care of each other. But I wanted to be in a situation where I know I'm not this absolute supreme person 100% of the time. Maybe more than 80% of the time I am. So it's just for that, just more like just about 10% of the time that I need to be able to count on somebody to be there for me. And I'm talking about like for real, really be there for me. And for them to be there for me as much as I need them to be, then they also need to really be as larger than life as I am. In a different way, of course, but they need to be able to actually take care of me as much as I'm willing to take care of them. So, yeah, in principle, I'm probably talking about the first type of shorty that's like got her own stuff but still wants me to take care of her. Just so, like, when all the second, in fact, yeah, what financially, I'm not actually going to discriminate over Hans' finances, and that's the point of this thing. I just need to get my own finances in check. I need to be able to just, get the things that I need to make me happy and get the things that I want. So I am sort of, so the world revolves around me in a way. It's like I have my groundedness, I am centered, and whatever I do, I know that beautiful things are to follow me because I am holding that space through the things that I do, how I spend my money, putting myself in those kind of places that have the highest possible payoff that I can comprehend. Because, like I said, it's all personal. So yeah, that's as much as I feel for right now to speak about what I like. So yeah, let's see how that goes. I'm wishing everybody all the best on their journeys to just doing the most that they can for themselves and being around genuine people that have their best interests at heart and that are willing to just make them happy. And shout out to y'all that are making yourselves happy. That, like I'm saying, don't wait, but living in the spirit of just happiness and knowing that once you take care of yourself, others will be willing to take care of you. So, yeah, let's do that and see how it goes.